I got an email from the NGO in Tripoli that would provide updates regularly in the past. I hadn't heard from them for a week or two, and it turns out they're back in America and they're safe, which was not my assumption. So I will read out this email, which in fact is one that they have received. The below letter was sent to us this evening from a very close friend of ours living in Tripoli, Libya. We know him well and saw him daily while we were in Tripoli. We knew his brother, his father. This is the sad truth about NATO and the carnage of the innocent people in Libya. Please pass this on. NATO must be stopped. I have not corrected the English. I've left it as it was written from this young man who just graduated from high school this past spring in Tripoli. He asked that we do not pass his name for his safety, but we know this young man and we can swear to his truth. This letter will explain what happened in Tripoli. When the events first started in Tripoli, it was on the 20th. What happened was all rebels present in Tripoli attacked Special Forces checkpoints. Doing so, they were taken care of right away. Directly after that, NATO went all out by bombing all checkpoints so that the rebels could easily enter Tripoli, and when doing so, the people of Tripoli reacted right away. Huge masses gathered to defend Tripoli. The next day, NATO was even more aggressive. They bombed all broadcasting stations, killing dozens, claiming rebels took control of it. Of course, at the same time, several rumors were used at the time, like the sons of Gaddafi being caught, Gaddafi and his family and government officials fled the country, and several others. All were used as a psychological weapon against the Libyans. Of course, the people did not listen. Instead, they gathered and marched to Green Square. At the same time, the leader drove around the city in his army uniform, encouraging people, telling them to not believe the lies they are spreading. After constant bombardment, the masses pulled back to Bab el-Azazia, where they held their own for more than 24 hours. That same night, Saif al-Islam made an appearance over there. At that time, both Green Square and Bab al-Azazia were in our control. But NATO quickly reacted by bombing an entrance for the rebels, killing all who were there, and Apache attacks broke up all massive gathering. The next day, after 63 bombs in Bab al-Azazia alone, they were in control of both squares. But there were still areas that were still fighting, like Buslim and Al-Hadba and Salah al-Din. But these were mere citizens against Apaches and heavily armed rebels. Since then, Tripoli has become a bloodbath. All who were black were lynched. Any area that was known for supporting Gaddafi were either bombed or had their apartment or homes burnt. The same rebels who came in were jumping in house after house, stealing what they could, and destroyed what they couldn't. After monitoring these movements and listening in to their conversations, we found out that they've already started fighting the rebels of the Western Mountains and the rebels of Zintan and the rebels of Misrata the most. They seem to be fighting on who gets what, and at many different cases they've opened fire on each other. And as for the NTC and the Islamists, well, they've already started arguing because the West is telling them to take care of the Islamists, but, of course, that is impossible because it is the Islamists who are in control of the weapons. The rebels of Zintan and Misrata are aware of that, so they started stealing as many weapons as they can and storing them in their towns, preparing themselves for the obvious battle to come. As for Sirte and Bini Walid, they have been constantly bombed. In Bini Walid, dozens of civilians were killed, and as for Sirte, the most horrible crime was when they bombed the people while they were praying Eid prayers. About 1,000 died. It was absolutely horrible, and even though footage was sent to all channels, no one aired it. In Tripoli, there were government officials who were killed, and those who were spared in exchange for them making an announcement saying they have joined the revolution. Rebel crimes in Tripoli. Houses were raided. They steal what they can and destroy the rest. Buildings in areas such as Jamahariya Street and Hadba and Buslim were either completely burnt or raided and destroyed. In one hospital, equipments were stolen and fuel for generators too. Private clinics were completely destroyed and raided. We got a report that ambulances and fire trucks were also taken. Hala Musrati, a famous Libyan anchor, was kidnapped, and it was broadcasted on national television, and a famous sheikh too, named Ali Bousuwa, with the exact same situation, yet no one seemed to care. Yet when the woman who claimed that she was raped made an appearance, the whole world reacted. But these two were on live television when they were kidnapped by force, and no one even mentioned it.